Okay, this is a recording of the answers to the midterm. And so here are the questions. I expect that you have already downloaded your the chemistry. So here is the sheet. You were asked to enter your name and I see that the functions that we have repeated over and over now, I mean, like, you don't have a problem with. So how do I insert the date? How would you insert the date? So one thing that you need to remember, that any calculation, any function in a cell will have to start with an equal sign. And then I asked you to change the whole background for the sheet. So you need to select the whole sheet. And the way to do it is from that upper left corner of the sheet. That will select it all. And then you need to change the background through the fill color. And you choose, was it the light blue? Light green? So that will change the color for the whole sheet. So again, remember, and I would like you to take notes because the same questions will appear again on the makeup. So it's just a matter, and you will not remember, believe me, and you went through that exercise twice, knowing that I can do it during the lab. You leave the lab and you don't practice it and you will forget. So write a note for yourself, and I hope that you all can go and redo the thing again. So here I have a worksheet that has the scores for 30-something students, their scores on the first exam, the second exam, the third exam, and the final, and I need to calculate a weighted score, a weighted average. An average, a normal average, is the sum of all numbers divided by the number of exams. So if they are weighted equally, I will just add them all and divide by 4, because there are 4 exams there. But when we do a weighted average, the weighted average is the weight of each exam multiply by the score of the student. So if I want to calculate for just the first student, it will be, again, because this is a calculation, I have to start it with an equal sign. It is equal to the weight for the first exam multiply by the score for the first exam plus the weight for the second exam multiply by the score of the second exam plus the weight for the third exam multiply by the score for the third exam plus, and I have to add until I finish all of the exams, the weight for the final exam multiply by the score for the final exam, and I hit enter. So the average, the weighted average for that first student is 78.2. So if you want just the points for that student, that's the formula is fine. The problem is I asked you to copy that formula to the rest of the table. If I have 1,000 students in my class, and I'm not going to calculate for every single one, but I have to write the formula correctly, which means, and let me tell you why I have to modify it. Let's try and copy it. And you see averages that are not logical. How come someone has 173 or 134? So there is something wrong with the formula. Let's take a close look at the formula and see what's wrong. Now, let's copy it first to the second and see what's the formula in the second. The formula in the second is saying multiply C9 by B18. So C9 now is the second exam score weight, not the first exam's weight. So things have shifted. Instead of taking C8, C9, C10, C11, they are taking C9, 10, 11, 12. And 12 doesn't have anything or has 100%. The following row, if I even go further, it will be 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I will see empty spaces after that. So something is wrong. So let's see what is wrong with the formula. Now, is the weight, and you have to ask yourself the same question every time you are copying formulas from one cell to a range of cells. Is the weight for the first exam different for different students in the class? So shall I give, for example, Xavier 50% for the first exam and Kendra 10% only? That won't be fair. I have to treat everyone the same. I have only one weight for the first exam, only one weight for the second exam, only one weight for the third, only one weight for the final. So in my formula, I have to tell Excel, do not change the position of the weights. It's only one cell, use that one cell and that one cell only. And I kept on telling you in class, fix the variable, and nobody paid attention how to fix it. To fix it, we put a $sign before and after. A $sign before the C, a $sign after the C. So that's the weight. C8 is a weight. B17 is a score, and there are different scores for different students. Every student's score is different. I will not fix it. Now, the C9, again, is fixed. The C10 is fixed. The C11 is fixed. That would be, no, it cannot be right. It cannot be right. Yes, but if you try to now copy the formula to the rest of the table, it will not give you the right answer. Okay. But Sierra, the most important thing is realizing, understanding why am I doing this, because the scenarios will be different. Every exam will have a different question in there. It's the main thing to ask yourself, what is fixed cells in that formula? And I can show you actually the formula by hitting the control and the accent, which is right above the tab. It will actually show the formula for you. So you can see the formula inside of the column. C8 is fixed. C9 is fixed. C10 is fixed. C11 is fixed because I have only one weight for each of the exams. Yes, sir. B5? Okay, we'll go one by one. So that's the formula for the weighted average. It's fine to fix it, but it's not required. So if you fix the B, because all of the scores are in column B, that's fine. Okay, so now I calculated it for 1. I'm going to copy it for the rest of the cells, and I can see that everything looks fine. I mean, like I don't have these abnormal numbers anymore. Okay, so going to Dylan's question. Okay. How do I count the number of students? And again, it's a formula equal to count. And what is it that I'm counting? It's the students. So I count any of these columns. And it tells me I have 36 students. Yes. So one more time, I want to count the students. So I'm going to say equal to and count and open the parentheses. And you want to count any of the exam columns. The problem is, one thing that you have to note is that count cannot be used with the text column. So I cannot use it for the student ID. It will give you an error because it has dashes in there. So you have to use it for one of the exam columns. So I'm going to highlight, and I think the first lab that I videotaped for you guys actually told you that. So I have the count for the students. Now I want to find what is the minimum score for the first exam and the maximum and the average. So in this, I'm going to write equal to min, open the parentheses, and again, I'm going to highlight the first exam because it says minimum of the first exam. So let's highlight all of the numbers of the first exam and hit enter. And it tells me the minimum is 52. How about the second exam? Equal to min, open the parentheses, highlight the numbers for the second exam. Enter. So second exam, it's 53. Minimum for the third exam, equal to min, open the parentheses, highlight the scores for the third exam. Minimum for the fifth, for the final, equal to min. And that's a good practice, because that now you know that if I want to find the minimum, the maximum, the average, I will write equal to the name of the function, and then I will highlight the range that I want to find the minimum of. So I want to find the minimum of final. I'm going to highlight that. Okay. Now, how about the maximum? Same thing, equal to max. And I highlight the range for the first exam. And this time I'm going to copy the formula. So I'll calculate the average also, equal to average. Open. And highlight the scores for the first exam. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Let's see if it will. No, it didn't do the correct. Okay, so you'll have to do it one by one. Equal to, so Sierra now is saying, can I use the auto sum to find the maximum and the average? And the answer is yes. I can go and choose max. And it says what do you want to find the max of, and you will highlight now the range for the second exam. Same thing for the third, equal to max. Open the parentheses, highlight the scores for the third exam. You have to understand what are you doing? What is it that I'm doing? I'm trying to find what is the maximum value of that column. Okay. So now I have my count. The count of the students. I found the weighted average. I found the minimum, maximum, and average of each of the exams. I think one of the questions was, can you find the top 10 students who scored or who are like top 10 for the overall score, for the whole course, for the whole semester. Now, which column shall I highlight? If I'm trying to find the top 10 students, which column shall I highlight? The overall. So I'm going to highlight all of the scores for the overall. And now, if I need to highlight, what function do I click on? Conditional formatting. Is it under styles? Now it condensed everything, so yeah. So you need to use conditional formatting, and it is top bottom rule, and you want the top 10, and it's asking you, do you want a light red fill with dark red text? That's fine. And now I have the top 10. 95, 94, 94, 94, 93, 92, 95, 96, and 94 and 94. What was the, yeah, you were asked to find the to draw a chart. For what? For what was the chart asking to? The average values? Okay, so I need to highlight the 4 exams and also the average only. How do I highlight non-sequential columns, columns that are not right after each other? What do I need to click? Control. It is control. Control and then highlight the second column. So if I want to draw a column chart of, it says draw a column chart of the averages of the exams. I cannot use the minimum and the maximum or the weights. So I have to select the 4 exams and their averages. And now I'm going to insert a column chart. And here is my chart with my exams 1, 2, 3, 4 and their averages. But it's going to cover things, and we have already learned how to move the chart. I right click and I choose move chart. So I'm going to move it to a new chart, and it says it will name the chart chart 11. I can call it column chart or comparison of exams. Exam comparisons. So here it is. What is it that you don't like now? You are all business students, so you need to generate professional looking charts. What is it that you don't like about the chart? What is not meaningful in the chart? The series. What are the series? So I want to change the legend. You can actually type, let's see. Okay. You can right click and choose select data. And there it has the series 1 and you want to change it. So you are going to call it exam averages. Yes, ma'am. Let me go. Do you have the questions? No, they didn't. No, I took everybody's, but I gave But the thing is, what? Before I go and get the question so that we are clear what it is. The thing is, you need to do the right thing, irrespective of the question. Because in 304, when you go and take 304, if you take it with me, I don't know about the other professors. I don't tell students instructions, like specific instructions. I say create a chart, let's say. They have to look at the data and decide what kind of chart it is. They have to change the legend. They have to put a title. They have to put, like if there are like 2 series, they have to change. We cover all of that in the book, but I don't tell them. And if they don't do that, I take points. And they come back, like, of course, Furious didn't ask us for this. But I said, you need to know your skills. Because when you are given an assignment on a job, your boss is not going to tell you, do this, put a title. They expect you to present something that is professional, to present the best. The only way that I can get you to do this in class is to train you through exams and assignments. And you feel furious that you are missing points. But you will be grateful when you go on a job and your boss is impressed by the quality of your work. And if you tell me, yeah, on the job I will remember, I'll tell you no. It's only the points that hurt now that will make you remember later, right? Okay, let me look at the questions. And I'll give it to everyone so you can work on it.
And it does not say to move it to another sheet. It doesn't say to move it to another sheet. It does not. It does not. It does not. It does not say move it to another sheet. Average of all scores, right? It say average only. Got exam 1, 2, 3, 4 on there. And the average exam on the chart. First of all, how we gonna know what our grade is before we take the makeup? If we need to take the but my thing is, I need to know what my grade is a week ahead before I do time I to take the makeup. Because what my mother, he said she wanted to go to the exam with me, and then I can't look at these other things. I just want to go out class, my one is my 1 o'clock class.
Take a sheet and pass it.
Yeah, and plus we skip something too.
As we said, we agreed that the purpose of the exercise is for you to compare.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will go back to the other questions, but like the question says, insert the column chart using the class summary data of the first semester scores to show the averages of all 4 exams. Give the chart a title and set its font size to 24. Add a legend at the bottom of the chart. So everything actually is in there. I thought that I didn't, but actually everything in there. So here is my legend. I want to move it to the bottom of the chart. So I'm going to right click. Well, there is the chart layout. Under legend, show legend at bottom. So that will display it at the bottom. I can increase the legend size.
According to my understanding, when you wrote the summary, I thought like you wrote the minimum, the maximum, and the average, not just.
Well, let's read it correctly so that we are fair. It says what? It says, insert the column chart using the class summary data of the first semester scores to show the averages. The averages. It shows the average. It doesn't tell you to show the minimum or the maximum, right? Well, you are going to redo the test, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So, well, we agreed that you will do the right thing. So we need why is it confusing? It's asking you to chart the averages. Why would you assume something else?
Minimum and maximum is considered average as well.
No. It's descriptive statistics. Like from a technical point of view, maximum and minimum are not averages. They are descriptive of the range. So when we talk about the descriptive statistics, it means give me the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, and the maximum. Yes, yeah. If you want to make the axis bigger again, you would select it, right click, and increase the font size to maybe 12 or 14. Same thing for the numbers. Okay, so now I have the legend. It says the title exam averages. I can call it first semester score averages or first semester averages. And that would end number 11. So going back, it says insert a table for the range A7 to F12. So in the first summary, here is A7. I'm using it until F12. And I will insert a table. And my table, it's asking you, is your table has headers? And I know that means is the first row column headers. And yes, it is. And you have to check it. Otherwise, it will add a new row for you. So you have to write to check OK. And you see these arrows. If you don't want them, then you can click on data and close the filter. You are to do the same thing for the lower table, but this time to go until G52. And again, insert a table. And my table has headers, and I'm going to turn off the filter. Now, the problem will be if you try to put formulas, it will automatically insert the formulas in all, so you have to convert the tables into a range. So I asked you, as soon as you create the tables, go ahead and convert them into a range. So you just click on design and click convert to range. That will mean you will still have the banded rows, but it's not treated as a table. Same thing for the lower one. Convert to a range, and yes. Okay, so that takes care of 3 and 4. It says enter the text students at risk in column G. And I know if the whole text is not showing, even though I don't tell you, but you should be able to, if you are presenting this to your boss, you don't want to show a column that's half showing. So you want to make sure that all of your columns are auto-fit. Now they ask you to put a formula, an if statement, to put a fail if the overall score is less than 70. We did that maybe 10 times in class. That's fine. Yeah, that's the example. But it is recorded, so you'll be able to listen to it. So student at risk equal to if, and I open the parentheses, what am I testing? And we did that in class, so you don't have any excuse not to write the if statement. What am I testing? No, I'm not testing a pass or fail. I'm going to insert a pass or fail. So pass or fail are the results that I will insert in the cell. But what I am testing? What am I testing? What value am I testing? The overall score. So I'm saying, and overall is in what column? F. So I'll click on the first one. If F17 is less than 70, I will insert fail. It didn't tell me to insert anything else if they are above, so I don't want the pass. What shall I put? Empty course. I cannot leave it empty because it will put me either a false, the word false. I don't want anything, so I will have to put an empty quotation, empty text. and close. And let's hit enter. And because the first guy has a 78, it's not a fail. But now I'm going to copy the formula to the rest and see if I have some fails or not. So the 69 is a fail, 66 is a fail, the 56 is a fail, 65, 55, 58, all of these are fails. So see again the formula. If F17, why do I need to put dollar signs here? No, I have a whole column. So yes, I want Excel to change the F17 to F18, F19. I want Excel to change it. So I don't need to fix it.
Okay, when I'm trying to do that, it keeps making a comma, and I'm trying to put the greater. Oh, okay. Greater than.
Okay. Okay, that takes care of everything up until question 12. And now on question 12, you are asked to insert to go to a new sheet and to name the sheet PMT calculations. How would I name the sheet? Double click on the sheet 1 name. So you'll double click and type in PMT. And now they tell you to enter in A5 the word loan amount. And the loan amount is 315,000. And your annual interest rate is 6.7. And it is 6.7%, so it's 0.067. So that when you enter a percentage, it is 6.7%. So these are things that you need to know. How can I change the format of a cell so that it appears as 6.7? You have to go at the top, Brittany. Look at the screen here. See the format at the top? Do you see it? What does it say? Percentage. So I cannot leave it as general, because if it's general, that it will mess the whole formula. The mortgage term, meaning the number of years that you will have to repay your loan, is 30 years. And now you want to calculate the monthly payment. How much will you pay every month? If you borrow that amount, the 315,000, and you pay every year, huh? Okay, but we'll go over it. So the formula is equal to, and it is PMT. And the first thing that it is expecting is a rate. What rate do I have on the sheet right now? What rate? What kind of rate is this? An annual. Can I use an annual to calculate a monthly payment? No, I have to change that annual into monthly. So I'm going to click on annual interest rate and divide by 12. And then the next thing is number of payments. How many years am I taking to pay the loan? 30. So how many payments will I make? 30 times 12. You make a payment every month. They will not leave you. Even when they say 6 months free interest, they expect you to make at least the minimum payment every month. B7 multiplied by 12. And the last thing is what you are borrowing today. And we said, because it's not our money, you have to put a negative before it. And then click on the amount that you are borrowing and close. And now you have a 2032. Because the next test is a makeup. There will be no resources used. It will be just the test that you will be working on. You had enough time, you had all of the resources, you waste your chance of using the resources. So next exam, you just have your exam and your Excel sheet, and that's it. Okay, so that's all for the exam. What? Let me close the